What is good, Smooth Nation? Here today, we are here to react to why it sucks to be. What the heck is this? I don't know why these things randomly keep popping up. Why it sucks to be born as a Jedi by Wallace. Let's get this started.
You come into the galaxy screaming inside your family's heart. Looks like you're a human. That's pretty good.
Here's a funny thing. It's never ever confirmed if these creatures are actually human. Because this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So, as far as we're concerned, they're just humanoid entities. Let's see there. Hold on. Say about the electric bell.
Good. A lot of people aren't so lucky. Oh, no offense. Your first breath is filled with thick jungle air, and the first sounds you hear are the distant roars of predators. You're born on Haroon Kal, a planet covered in endless, steaming forests where only the strong survive. Your people, the Koronai, live in nomadic camps, never staying in one place for too long. As the natives of this world, they know that to remain still is to become prey. As night falls, warriors take turns standing guard, watching for any signs of movement in the darkness. Even in their sleep, your parents remain alert, their ears straining for the sound of snapping branches or the low rumble of the act pack on the prowl. But the animals are the least of your worries. Most of the native plants on this planet are far more deadly and have evolved to kill just about anything. Even inside your hut, all electronics have been rubbed down with Portac amber to prevent the planet's metal and silicate eating fungi from destroying them.
Metal eating fungi? How does that work? Because we have bugs like ticks and stuff, termites that eat wood and shit. What eats metal? How does that even work? I know it's a fantasy, but how does that work?
This beautiful jungle you're in, as well as every other living thing on this planet, sits on the Coronal Highland, a continent-sized landmass that extends high into the planet's atmosphere. You see, 3/4 of this planet is completely uninhabitable. From space, it looks like it's covered in nothing but oceans. But when you get a little closer, you realize this ocean is in fact a sea of toxic gases, constantly fueled by the planet's volcanic activity down below. Only the highland reaches...
This is why space kind of sucks. So people want to talk about, oh, let's explore other planets, go to Mars, go all these places. So many of these planets are freaking toxic. That's just terrible. Like, no life as we know it can survive there. It's freaking ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. I just stay on Earth. I'll stay on Earth, man.
High enough into the atmosphere to support life. One thing you should know about your tribe is that they do not raise weak children. They can't afford to. You're barely old enough to walk when your training begins. Your father, a hardened warrior, teaches you to track, to move silently, to wield a weapon. Your mother, an expert in local fauna, shows you how to read the jungle and how to sense the danger before it strikes. Even as a young child, you're very aware that life here is unforgiving. You either learn quickly or you die young. Further down the Coronal Highland, there are others on this planet, but they're not like you. In a clearing in the jungle sits the city's only planet, Palik Ball. It's filled with other humans your tribe call the Balawai. Just don't call them that to their face. That word is not very nice. They're all descendants of off-world settlers who could...
So it's not their actual name. So basically this is the N-word level. They're technically called something that they don't like being called.
Never hope to survive in the jungle like you do. Your people have been at war with them for decades now.
No, it's funny. He hasn't brought up the actual Jedi stuff yet, because I was expecting him to just cut to the chase where you get put into the council. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be about the Jedi. This is more about the planet that this one particular Jedi has to come from.
Then at 5 years old, it happens. One morning, you hear the entire tribe scrambling outside. You assume it's another attack from the Balawai. But as you step outside, you see Republic ships descend from the sky. You've never seen anything like them. The elders of your jungle gather, their expressions wary. Everyone knows what this means. The Jedi have come to take another child. You see, there's something special about the Koronai. It's the reason they're able to survive in this jungle, to sense danger when it hasn't revealed itself yet, and to hunt with the speed they hunt with. Every single member of your tribe is force sensitive. Thousands of years ago, during the Great Sith War, A starship.
If they're all force sensitive, why don't you just take them all and send them to, like, honestly, like, the Jedi just freaking kidnaps children in this continuity. So why not just take them all and bring them to a better planet that's not as harsh and hard to live on?
Carrying Jedi Knights crashed on this planet, and the Coronae are their descendants. The Jedi step forward in their robes, faces calm, eyes searching. They are not here for just anyone. They are here for you. A Jedi Knight kneels before you. His voice is kind, but his presence is imposing. You are strong in the Force, he says. You have a greater destiny. You don't understand what he means, but your parents do. They knew this day would come. The Coronae have a history with the Jedi. When the Order finds a particularly Force-sensitive child among them, there is no question. That child must go. Your mother's hand tightens on your shoulder. Your father does not speak. There is no choice here. You belong to the Jedi now. There is no farewell ceremony, no time to pack, no time to process what is happening. You are taken into the ship and led inside its cold metal halls. The jungle, the only home you've ever known, disappears behind you. The other Jedi do not look back. They are used to this, but you are not. You press your hand against the window, watching Haroon Kal fade into the distance. You will never see it again. You arrive on Coruscant, and the entire planet is a sea of endless lights. The sky is filled with ships moving in perfect order. Nothing like the world you're used to. You arrive at the Jedi Temple and are led through grand corridors, past towering statues of ancient masters. You're led into a room where you meet other children just like you, taken from their families and their worlds. They wear simple robes, with their heads shaved. They speak in quiet voices, obedient and disciplined. A Jedi instructor greets you. He tells you about the Jedi Code and of the teachings you will soon learn. The Jedi Order does not raise children. It forges warriors. The transition from youngling to Padawan is meant to strip away the last...
Okay, so if that's the case, then these people wouldn't be so polite. If you're just training a warrior, not teaching him proper manners, then they wouldn't have proper manners. They'd just be fighters.
Remnants of who you were before the Order claimed you. If you are not strong enough, you will be discarded. Sent away to the agricultural corps, destined to live a quiet, forgotten life, tending crops on distant worlds. But you refuse to be forgotten. As your training intensifies, lightsaber drills become second nature. You no longer think about your movements, you simply react. Your instructors take note of this, and they push you harder. You run obstacle courses blindfolded, guided only by the Force. You spar against droids designed to overwhelm, and memorize ancient Jedi texts until you no longer question it. At 12 years old, your moment arrives. You stand in the Great Hall, along...
The talk, George Lucas really did ruin the prequel trilogy. He made the Jedi into freaking weirdos. They're freaking cultists who kidnap children and forcibly raise them. Because I know in Acolyte they made it worse. Because the Acolyte, they have the lesbian space witches, and they're even worse than what we thought the Jedi were. And they're not allowed to get married. Why? That's freaking stupid.
Alongside dozens of younglings. Jedi Knights and Masters observe you, searching for their next apprentice. If no one chooses you, your path ends here. You will be sent away, deemed unworthy of becoming a Jedi Knight. The seconds drag into minutes. Some younglings are chosen quickly, and others shift nervously with their futures uncertain. You try to keep your expression neutral and your heart steady, because after all, fear is weakness. Then, a figure steps forward. He is a Jedi Knight, not yet a Master, but his presence commands respect. His robe is worn from years in the field, and his eyes are sharp, assessing you for a long moment before nodding. I will take this one. You don't show it, but relief is...
I'll still take this over school and college, because the school system in college, it is a complete total scam. At least these people are straight up with what they teach you.
Washed over you, and you bow, accepting your fate. You've been chosen by Jedi Knight Tyron Voss, and are now a Padawan. Your master wastes no time. There are no warm welcomes or gentle introductions. The galaxy is not a kind place, and to bring order to it, you have to be strong. And so, your training becomes brutal. Your first mission comes sooner than expected. A simple diplomatic mission to a war-torn planet. You expect to stand in the background, to observe while your master handles peace negotiations. But, you are wrong. The meeting is a trap, and blaster fire erupts in the council chamber. Your master reacts instantly, his lightsaber igniting in a flash of blue. You do the same, moving on instinct. You block the first shot, the second, the third. Then you see the attacker. A boy not much older than you, holding a blaster with shaking hands. You hesitate, he fires. Your master moves before you can, and in a single motion, his lightsaber cuts through the boy's weapon and his arm. You stare at him, at the fear in his eyes, at the stump where his arm used to be. Compassion is a virtue, but hesitation will get you killed, your master says. You do not argue, you only nod, but something inside you shifts. Now at 17, you're no longer a child, but you're not yet a knight. Recently you hear whispers in the temple halls, Jedi speaking in hushed tones about the Republic, and about the growing unrest in the Senate. Some question the Order's role in politics, and wonder if the Jedi have lost their way, but your master warns you not to listen. The Jedi serve the Republic. We do not question it, but you do. I mean, how can you not? You were raised to believe that the Jedi bring peace, yet all you've seen is war. You were taught that a Jedi does not strike first, yet your master does not hesitate to cut down those who threaten him. You're supposed to be the guardians of peace, but you've become...
Okay, see, here's the funny thing about the Jedi, because you say the Jedi serve the Republic. So, from the Jedi's perspective, just kind of doing the job. You know, maybe the Republic might be evil, but the Jedi don't necessarily know that.
Warriors. Your master noticed...
I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, as you can tell. I'm a mild casual. Disney really ruined it for me. So, for those of you who are Star Wars experts, please tell me below. Show me about the lore.
You're troubled. You have fought, you have obeyed. You've followed every order, every rule, and yet the Force has never felt so distant. At 18, you are no longer the same Jedi who left Coruscant all those years ago. The weight of everything you've done and what you've allowed to happen gnaws on you. You obeyed, you followed orders, and for what? A republic that grows more corrupt with each passing day? A Jedi Council that refuses to acknowledge the path you've chosen? Then the moment arrives that seals your fate. A new mission. You're given another target. This time, it's not a village.
It's funny how he hasn't mentioned that they can't get married. It's funny that how he hasn't mentioned
an enemy base, but a single man. A politician, outspoken against the Republic's growing authoritarianism. The Council believes he is a separatist sympathizer, and that his words are dangerous. The Order has decided he must be eliminated. But you refuse. You know what this is becoming, and you refuse to take part in it. Your master tries to convince you you're making a mistake, but he looks as if he always knew this day would come. You turn and walk away, and as a final gift to his Padawan of all these years, he lets you. Leaving the Jedi is not a simple thing. There is no resignation letter, no farewell ceremony. The Jedi Order doesn't really allow deserters. You go into hiding, fleeing into the Outer Rim where the Republic's influence is weaker. You change your name and discard your robes, trying to live life as a normal person. And then, the unthinkable happens. Order 66. You hear the whispers in a seedy cantina, see the headlines on grainy holoscreens. The Jedi are traitors. They tried to overthrow the Republic. They have been executed. You feel it in the Force. The deaths, the screams, and the silence that follows. You are one of the last. As the years go by...
I love the Execute Order 66 meme. I just really like that meme.
The Jedi may be gone, but the Empire rises in their place. And the Empire does not tolerate loose ends. You spend years running, always moving, always hiding. You're nomadic, just like your early days in the jungle. As you go about the galaxy, you meet others like you. Survivors scattered and leaderless. Some want to fight, some just want to survive, but none of them trust each other. One by one, they vanish. Caught, killed, erased. After all these years, you still never dare to let anyone get too close to you. Now in your middle age, the day comes where you cannot run any longer. The Inquisitors find you at the ruins of an old Jedi temple, deep in the Outer Rim. It's a jungle planet, one that kind of reminds you of home. Or what you remember of it at least. Standing on the rubble of a republic that thought it would last forever. You ignite your lightsaber one last time. It's been years since you last fought, but despite your old age, you fight harder than you ever have. Not for the Republic, not for the Jedi Order.
You said he was middle-aged. Middle-age and old age are not the same.
And everything they took from you. The battle is brutal. The Inquisitors are relentless. You take down two, but there are more. Too many. Finally, a red blade pierces your side, and you fall to your knees. As things begin to fade, you know this is it. Your whole life you were told Jedi would live forever, that the Order would always stand, but as you lie in the dirt of a forgotten world, the truth is clear. The Jedi were never eternal. They were never destined to rule the galaxy or guide its fate. They were only men and women, struggling against forces greater than themselves, bound by rules that never truly protected them. As you become one with the Force, you wonder if you ever truly understood it at all.
Okay. I gotta say...
The Lich is the main villain of Adventure.
Sorry about that. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed with this one. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, he spent too much time focusing on the planet you come from and not the actual Jedi itself. You know, there's so many things that he could have brought up but didn't. I'm gonna react to another one later.
You come into the galaxy screaming in...
I'm gonna react to another Why It Sucks to Be a Jedi video later on. Soup Nation, you're dismissed. See you guys later.